Welcome everyone to Making 100 tomorrow. Again, with this series, we're going to look at a couple of stocks that could have good moves tomorrow. And basically, we're going to trade them for options and make some money off of them. So, last video, yesterday's video, I gave you guys my top 3 stocks. And well, those stocks did phenomenal. We had Netflix go up a ton. I closed it for a small profit, 20%, and the stock went up to over 100% in profit. I had a $600 call, and these were like $5-6 at the end of the day, maybe even more actually. A crazy move from Netflix today. CVNA swing ended up being really good profit, and then Meta swing ended up being really good profit. Both of which went up a lot, and those were part of the list as well, along with a couple of other stocks that were part of the list, like Nvidia, Costco, Meta. What else? Myrna. Myrna, I believe, was the only stock that did not really do much if I were to go ahead and take a look. Yeah, I mean, it did break down underneath that 122 for 120, 118. So at least a short was possible. But I was hoping this would do a 3-bar pattern and break out. So at the very least, it did not follow through with the pattern. But yeah, basically, most of the stocks that we talked about on yesterday's video ended up doing very well. So what we're going to do here on today's video is we're going to look at a couple of more stocks that are new additions to the list. And these are stocks that I think are going to be really good for tomorrow, and I'm going to be playing them to make some money. And before I do that, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you guys want to get all of these alerts for stocks that I talk about in these videos when I trade them live with my members, you guys can go ahead and check out the link in the descriptions below for my private group. You can sign up for it and get into the room and be able to catch all of these plays as whatever I take, I alert them, and yeah, you guys can make money along the way. All right, so with that said, let's get straight into SPY. SPY today broke out of this 513 and ended up running to 515, 516, 516.50 at the end of the day. So a really strong move from the SPY. So what are you looking for SPY tomorrow? You want to break out of this 516, 517 area and start running towards 519 to 520, basically. So that's the idea tomorrow. Look for a long above that. If it decides to come right back under 515, then we can go for maybe a short towards 513 to 514 if that is given, but that would depend on how it sets up during the day. I do like the SPY since it broke out. It is now bullish territory. It's no longer bearish. But not anything can change with news from the market. It could be bad news, it could be good news, but overall, market is on a bullish trend. So we do not want to fight that trend. We want to let this trend continue to the upside. And if SPY wants to keep going back up to 525 and above, well, we're just gonna keep playing the long side, play calls, and try to make money off of that momentum to the upside. So yeah, that's basically the idea with SPY. Nothing complicated here. Now, moving on, let's go take a look at the first stock on our list, and this is ANF. And ANF is one of those stocks that very under noticed, but in the past year or so, since March or April of 2023, it has continued to go up tremendously. I mean, it went from 25 to $30 all the way up to 140. That is insane. It's got earnings at the end of May, so we got plenty of time to get some earnings rally. And the stock is setting up beautifully on the daily chart. So if I draw it out, it's a beautiful. Take the high over here, take this right here, and connect these points. You got a potential downtrend reversal. If you want to be stingy with the downtrend line, you can even do something like this and say that this is the test of the downtrend line, and you can do that as well. So for me, this is all I'm looking for is, can this stock get above the high of today, which was 131.50? If the stock can curl up and break 131.50, awesome, because that will allow the stock to push further up. And yeah, I mean, I would be able to catch this move to basically all-time high again towards 135 as my first target, and then 140 to 145, possibly 150 as the next target. I'm not expecting it to go that far that quickly, but I think I like the way this looks, and the setup looks really good. The downtrend reversal play, possible long setup that we could take advantage of tomorrow, especially if it breaks out of the 131.50. I'll go for like a 135 to 140 call and try to play the move to the upside. So beautiful setup. Really like the way this looks, and this looks solid. Number 2 stock on the list, this is ADSK. This is very similar to our stocks like, for instance, Netflix. Very, very similar. Netflix again broke out today and went up huge. Similar to our stock like Meta, which again broke out and went inside the gap fill. Huge move, right? These are the stocks that ADSK looks like. And ADSK here dropped because they decided not to release their annual report on time. And so that is why this gap down happened. So that should ultimately balance itself out because it was a short-term news. And basically what you're looking for is you want to see this break to 1950. If it breaks to 1950, we got room towards the gap fill all the way to 227. And that is basically what you're playing for. You're playing for this gap fill to 227. And if I get that gap fill, great. I'm not going to look for the entire move. I will most likely look for the break of 219.50 for a nice push into like 223 to 225, and I'll just take profit there. So 225 calls should be pretty good. If you want to short the stock, well, you can just wait for this to break around like 208.50, and then you can go for the short. Okay. Final stock on the list is Google. Now, Google recently released earnings, and earnings was absolutely incredible, right? They did very good on their earnings. They did increase their dividends, or they declared their first ever dividends. Earnings was really good, and stock gapped up huge, went down to fill the gap a little bit, earnings gap, and can go down more, right? Obviously, if you want to short the stock, you have to wait for it to break 164.50, and then you can short it down towards the gap fill towards 158.50 right here. And of course, support here is also going to act as a nice support. 161.50 will be a good support as well. So you got room to the downside, but it held support around 164.50, and it has been curling up with resistances right around this 170 to 171. And for me, that's pretty interesting because I kind of want to play this above this 170.50 area. If I go to the daily chart, it looks a little bit cleaner because you get to see these three candlesticks right here. So if I draw it out like this and I say, okay, where is the resistance? Well, based on the daily chart, the resistance looks like 170. So on the break of 170, we have a mini fair value gap right here, which is 170 break. It's going to be inside this gap. And this gap is all the way up to 171.50. After 171.50, we have an entire big candle to fill, and that is up to 176. And again, this had good earnings, so ultimately this should curl back up and go all the way back up towards 176 and then break it for 180. But I think what I want to do is I want to at least catch the break of 170 tomorrow and try to push it to 171.50, catch that gap fill, and then maybe go keep some runners for 172, 173, and 174, and so on and so forth. This is a great chart setup. I like it a lot. This is my number one watch for tomorrow in terms of whether this can actually come back inside and push. But yeah, I love the way this looks, and I hope you guys also like the way these look as well. Let me know what you think about these stocks and if you're going to trade them or not. I just want to quickly mention a couple of stocks that still has potential for more upside, like for instance Costco. Costco can still go up more since it's right at the gap fill. If it breaks high of 757 today, which will send it into the gap all the way up to 777. So it's like a nice 20-point gap fill on the upside for Costco that Costco could still go up and fill. Netflix still has some room to go up. These are stocks that I mentioned on my video yesterday. Still has room towards 600 plus, so watch out for that as well. You have stocks like Netflix, which also had well, not Netflix, but stocks like Meta, which also had room towards gap fill for 485. So that can also go up another 20 points to the upside. So these are by no means done, but they have made a tremendous move today into the gaps. Just look for that next leg up every single day that it can break out of the high of the previous day, and you'll be able to make some money off of these. So these are still good stocks to at least keep on watch. And last but not least, final stock that I'm going to quickly mention is Snow. We have a swing position open for this one today, up really nice on this one already, like 30% or so. Great swing setup. I talked about this in my video like 1 or 2 weeks ago, and yeah, it's finally broken out of it. Nice inverse head and shoulder, lots of room to the upside, huge gap fill to the upside. So keep an eye on this one as well. With that said, guys, I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and check out the link in the descriptions below for the private group, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.